diaspora, we're not patient in forgiving of one another at all. We're the ones with that stone and cold and that stony heart. When we begin to look at the Mashiyach and understanding redemption and that the kingdom of heaven was at hand over 2,000 years ago. And again, every single day that you wake up, the Father is giving you another opportunity to get it right. That's the only reason why you got up this morning, is to learn how to forgive. And Israelites, we do not know how to forgive one another and move on. That's one of the hardest things that that's a major challenge for us. The book of Isaiah, 42:1. The book of Isaiah, 42:1.
Can I say something on that?
Yes.
I'm kind of defending myself because right now you're slapping me in the face.
We're good. We're all good.
But in order, one of the things I keep hearing, especially in the Christian church, I keep hearing people say, forgive, forgive, forgive. Husband cheats on the wife, comes home, the first thing the church tells them they got to forgive. But what they're not telling them to do is to repent. Because there is no forgiveness without repentance.
Absolutely.
And so unless a person comes to you and asks you for forgiveness, are you required to forgive that person?
We're supposed to bear the
Burdens?
of one another. Yes, we are, but it's almost like it's basic. Not your question.
Let me ask something.
Sure, okay.
Because one of the things that I'm seeing, and everything you're seeing, whether it's in the news or whether it's schools or whatever, the thing now is to never say you're sorry.
Right.
You see, never apologize. And that is the thing. I get in a car accident, not my fault. Even though I did it.
Right.
You see? And so now that you look at that and you relate it to repentance, here are people that are rightfully wronged you, and they're not asking for your forgiveness. They don't even care.
Right.
I'm going to take your ball, and then I'm going to bully you. I'm going to play with it in your face.
Right.
Too bad. So if a person's not asking for forgiveness, are they required to forgive them?
Those of us that are yes, they are. Yes, we are, but that's not being done, because Scripture tells us that in these last days that men and women will become lovers of their own selves. So we know, according to Scripture, that's not going to happen. But a person should ask for forgiveness. Everybody should man up or woman up to their responsibilities as being guilty when a crime is committed. If you wrong somebody, the Isha or the Ish should say, listen, you know what, you did X, Y, and Z, and I believe I deserve an apology. You talk, you communicate with one another, and the person that's in the wrong should actually apologize. And this is one of the first examples, as you already know, when we see in the book of Genesis. We see that crime that was being committed between Adam and his Isha and the adversary. And when the Mashiyach, or the father, now we say the father, when the father asked Adam, basically what happened, he never took responsibility for himself or his actions. Right. He said it was the woman that you gave me. So you see, everybody's always passing the buck. Instead of saying, listen, you know what, I'm the head of the household. Okay, then you first gave me the commandments, and I was supposed to now give this information to my Isha. I dropped the ball and explained to the father what happened, but he didn't do that. Then he got to Eve. Eve, she never took responsibility for what she did. She blamed the adversary. And so everything was now in disarray. And so again, for example, if the father asked you, okay then, Ake, Terrell, what did you do wrong? And listen to the question very, very carefully. What did you do wrong? But if you begin to explain, well, my Isha did X, Y, Z, blah, 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 and stuff like that, well, let me rephrase the question, because maybe you didn't hear me right the first time. I need to know, based upon this situation that just happened, I'm asking you, what did you do wrong? But you keep referring back to what Yahusha did. And so this is what's going on in the book of Genesis now, when we see why Adam and his Isha was actually expelled from the garden. But this happens now in our everyday lives, in our households, amongst brethren, is that we never want to take responsibility for what we did. And the scriptures even tells us now, if you have aught against your brother, all right, before going now to present your gifts to the Father, what you must do now is make a recompense or apologize to your brother first. Because then we get to the point now, how is it now that you can say that you forgive and you love the Father, but you hate and you have some type of mischief now against the person who you can't see, but the Father who you can't see, you say that you love, but the person that you see every single day, you can never forgive them.
Right.
It makes no sense. And then when we begin to look at the festivals of Yahuah, every single festival that's outlined in scriptures in the book of Exodus, the 23rd chapter, every single last one of them is based upon forgiveness. Every single last one of them. And that's the only way that we can live together as a community, because it's always about community living. Always. But we must be able to learn how to forgive one another, because we're going to all make mistakes. I'm going to step on your toe, and you're going to step on mine. So we just have to make sure now is that it's not intentional, and forgiveness is a must for us to move on. If there's no forgiveness, we can't move on. You have something?
Yeah, Matthew chapter 24, verse 12 says, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold.
Oh, yeah.
So basically, people don't ask for forgiveness, and people don't forgive, because when you really love, the scripture says perfect love casts out fear, casts out hate, all that.
Exactly.
When you really love, you want unity. So those who have a problem with asking for forgiveness, those who have a problem with forgiving, they lack love. And iniquity, honestly, is not like sin and transgression. Iniquity is having no moral code.
Whoa.
So yeah. when iniquity is abounding, you have no moral code. So you don't want to forgive, and you don't want to ask for forgiveness.
Right.
You know? So
absolutely. And the strange thing about it is that the nature and the characteristics of our people, instead of asking the person for forgiveness, they're praying and ask the Father for forgiveness.
yeah.
I offend you. Okay, I do something terribly wrong to you. Instead of apologizing or asking for forgiveness from you, what I'm going to do, out of my selfish, wicked heart, I'm going to ask for forgiveness from the Father and never come to you and ask for forgiveness. What type of sense does that make? But again, the love. There is no love and forgiveness.
I should go home and shoot my neighbor, right?
Oh my God.
Oh,
wow. No, we don't want to do that. Okay, let's speed it up here a little bit. We want to go ahead and get to the lesson. Isaiah 42:1. It says, behold my servant, whom I uphold, my elect, which is the Mashiyach, in whom my soul delighteth. I have put my set apart spirit upon him. He shall bring forth judgment. Again, we talk about that word judgment. Judgment to the Gentiles. He shall not cry, nor lift up, nor cause his voice to be heard in the street. A bruised reed shall he not break, and the smoking flax shall he not quench. He shall bring forth judgment unto truth. He shall not fail, nor be discouraged, till he have set judgment in the earth, and the isles shall wait for his law. Thus saith Yahuah of hosts, he that created the heavens and stretched them out, he that spread forth the earth, and that which cometh out, and which that cometh out of it, he that giveth breath unto the people upon it, and the ruach to them that walketh therein. I, Yahuah, have called thee in righteousness, and will hold thy hand, and will keep thee, and give thee for a covenant of the people, for a light to the Gentiles, to open the eyes, to open the blind eyes, to bring out the prisoners from the darkness, and from them that sit in darkness out of the prison houses. I am Yahuah, that is my name, and my esteem will I not give to another, neither my praise to graven images. So it's pretty much, Mr. Cobb, self-explanatory. The Father's putting his set apart spirit upon the nation of Yashra'al. And this judgment now that's coming to northern kingdom, these Gentiles here, because they're considered now blind, they're blind and deaf. All right, so let's get into the lesson. What happened to Dinah, or what happened to Dinah? We want to talk about that a little bit. Dinah is actually now the first daughter of Israel. The very first daughter of Israel. Anybody know the story of Dinah? Everybody, or Dinah, everybody knows what happened to her?
I thought she was the only daughter.
Well, eventually there were other daughters. Yeah, there was other daughters, but she was the first daughter because the women here, they are daughters of Israel. So I just wanted to, there was Judah.
Oh, I said you mean after, yeah.
Right,
she was the first. She was the only sister of the 12.
Exactly, the only sister of the 12. Better said, right? The only sister of the 12. And everybody is familiar with the story. Everybody has read the story. What happened to her? No. Yeah, you know what happened to her? What happened to her?
The people of basically the other nations, one of them came and raped her.
Right, so she was, right, so we're going to talk about that a little bit here, all right? It says now, and Dinah, the daughter of Leah.
Which chapter verse?
We have 34:1, the book of Genesis. And Dinah, the word Dinah means judge, or judgment. We have the masculine form, which is din, a day, and then we have the feminine version with the hey at the end, which is, I just write it down right quick. We have the dalet, we have the noon, we have the yod, and we have the hey. So it just means, judge. All right? Now watch how this goes. Now, in Dinah, the daughter of Leah, because we have now Jacob having 2 wives and there's 2 concubines here. And Dinah, the daughter of Leah, which is important, what she bare unto Jacob, went out to see the daughters of the land. All right? She went out to see the daughters of the land. And when Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Hivite, prince of the country. So Shechem, or Shechem here, what is his title and position in this land? Just want to make sure everybody, because this is going to get real interesting. What is his position? Right, he's a prince. He's a prince. He is the son of Hamor, the Hivite. Hamor, what is his position?
King.
He's the king. He's the king of the country. And so we have now Shechem, now he sees Dinah, and he took her and he laid with her and defiled her. In verse 2, what happened between Shechem and Dinah? What happened between them? He raped her. Okay, he raped her. And the words that we're using to justify that he raped her is the word defiled, right? Defiled. Let's see if Dinah was raped. I'll let you know right off the bat, she wasn't raped.
No,
all right?
She wasn't.
Huh?
She wasn't.
Yeah, she wasn't raped. Not in the sense of the definition that we understand it in Western society, where there's a woman walking down the street, or when she was hit across the head and she was violently raped, or even that she had intercourse against her will, because that's also considered rape. When a woman says no, no means no. So watch this now. So we're saying, if we're to believe that Shechem raped Dinah, we have in verse 3 where it says now, his ruach, or his soul, clave unto Dinah, the daughter of Jacob. And he loved the damsel, and spoke kindly to the damsel. So I'm beginning to ask myself, all right, so he took her, which is the Hebrew word lakah, and he defiled her, which is the Hebrew word anah. But we have here now, if we read the story and keep the context, it said that he loved the damsel, and he spoke kindly unto the damsel. Doesn't sound like rape to me. Verse 4, it says, Shechem, okay, the prince spoke unto his father Hamor, saying, get me this damsel to wife. It's kind of changing up here a little bit. We have a king who has a son, which is a prince. We have Israelites now who are a small group of people at this time, and there are strangers in the land. This king now can actually muster up an army and destroy the remnant of the small number of Israelites that are there. But we have a son. He has intercourse with Dinah, but the key word here now is that he defiled her. And the word to defile is the Hebrew word anah. And there's a teaching, because the word defiled, and we have the word anah, that means that, you know what, he raped her. Context, context, context. So, if the father is a king, the son is a prince, he's already had intercourse with her. But he's asking the father now to go through what we call a marriage procedure, where the father now goes and acts on the son's behalf and asks the father for the woman.
Right.
But we have a situation. Shechem now put the cart before the horse. You don't have intercourse with the woman and then go speak to your father, to go speak to the daughter's father for the young lady's hand in marriage. That's not how that works. Watch how this goes. Very, very easy. And Shechem spoke to his father Hamor, saying, get me this damsel to wife. And Jacob heard that he had defiled Dinah. Why is the word defiled being used here?
Circumcision.
Circumcision? It has a lot to do with circumcision.
He took it out. He took it out of order.
Right, and absolutely.
Before marriage.
Watch this.
He treated her as a girlfriend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't do the girlfriend things. Yeah, we don't do the girlfriend things here. So, well, watch what happens. In verse 2, it says, and when Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Hivite, what now comes to mind?
He ain't of the nation.
Huh?
He ain't of the people.
He's not what?
Of the people.
Of the people. Oh, he's not an Israelite, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
In Deuteronomy, the 7th chapter, read that for me, someone, please. It's start at verse 1. And when Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Hivite, so we have this nationality. What does the scripture say? Deuteronomy, 7th chapter, read down verse 1.
When Yahuah thy Elohim shall bring thee unto the land whither thou goest to possess it, and has cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, the Gergesites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou.
Read on.
And when Yahuah thy Elohim shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them, and thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor shew mercy unto them. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son.
So how is now Dinah defiled?
He's a Hivite.
Right. Make no covenants or marriages with these people. She was not raped. So what defiled her is that she's now in a relationship now with a Hivite. Watch how it's real easy. But I was told that I'm looking at this wrong, that she was actually raped. Okay. And his soul clave, verse 3, and his soul clave to Dinah, the daughter of Jacob, and he loved the damsel. and spoke kindly unto the damsel. And Shechem spoke unto his father Hamor, saying, Get me this damsel to wife. And Jacob heard that he had defiled Dinah, his daughter. Now his sons were with his cattle in the field, and Jacob held his peace until they would come. And Hamor, the father of Shechem, went out unto Jacob to commune with him. And the sons of Jacob came out of the field when they heard it, and the men were grieved. And they were very wroth, because he had wrought folly in Israel, and lying with Jacob's daughter, which thing ought not to be done. You're not supposed to marry Hivites. Marriage is very important. Israelites were marrying Israelites. This is the way that it went. There are cases, even when instructions was given, when the men, I have not seen one scripture supporting some of the things I've been hearing that some women have been teaching. When the man goes out to war and with another nation, and he sees a woman that he likes, but she can't have had a husband before. She has to be a virgin. Those men are killed. You take that virgin, and all women have known man, killed all those women too. But the virgin, the woman, you can take for yourself. That's scripture. I have not seen one scripture where it says that the woman can do the same. Have not seen it. So this seed and this lineage shift is going through the male. I mean, that's what I'm saying in scripture, unless somebody can show me something different. Watch how this goes. All right, I'm going to speed it up here a little bit. It's going to all play itself out. And verse 7 again. And the sons of Jacob came out of the field, and when they heard it, and the men were grieved, and they were very wroth, because he had wrought folly in Israel, and lying with Jacob's daughter, which thing ought not to be done. And Hamor now the king, communed with them, saying, The soul of my son Shechem, he longeth. This guy has a burning love and desire for Dinah. He longeth for your daughter. I pray you give her me to wife, and make you marriages with us, and give your daughters unto us, and take our daughters unto you. But Deuteronomy the 7th chapter said, no, don't do that. And if you was to do such a thing, it would actually now defile you. The men were not supposed to deal with the Hivites, the Amorites, the Jebusites, Utterly destroy these people, make no covenants with them. So we have here now, Hamor now is actually trying to make a covenant with the children of Israel. Dinah, one of the daughters of the 12. The daughter of Leah. And make marriages with us, and give your daughters unto us,